There are too many Olympic sports. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but there are 32 sports in this year's Olympics, and it's just too much to follow. And frankly, a lot of them suck. I don't want to watch 5 days of equestrian. Horses can jump. I get it. And I don't mean to say that the athletes are bad, it's just not fun to watch. So I'm going to be ranking Olympic sports on their watchability. S-tier sports are literally what the Olympics are here for. A-tier is solid, it's worth watching, not as godlike as S-tier, but you will have a good time. B-tier is mid, it's watchable, but you're not going to be seeking it out. D-tier is for spectacle sports, the one you'll watch for like 10 minutes because they're so odd, but once the freshness wears out, it's pretty dull. And F-tier is genuinely boring. I'm going to start off with some of the more standard, well-known sports, but these get pretty wild pretty quick, so you're going to want to stick around to the end. I've never heard of some of these before, okay? What the hell is artistic swimming? Alright gang, first off, we've got a classic Olympic sport. You will not think about it a day outside of the Olympics: archery. And I've got a bone to pick with this lad, because all the skill required for archery, the aiming, the angle, the stillness, the calculations, we can't see any of it. Like, I've no doubt it's an incredibly difficult sport to master. I tried it at a summer camp once when I was 13, and I don't think I hit the board a single time, but it is so incredibly boring to watch, because all of the work is in your head. Like, I'm sure they're doing so much calculation right now, but all I see is someone standing there. Like, if Ludwig did a live stream making 1,000 bullseyes instead of free throws, his views would have tanked. And that's not the fault of the athletes, it's not fun, guys. It's not fun to watch, I'm sorry. It reminds me of an old Colin and Samir video I was watching the other day where they talk about the importance of telling a story at the same time that you're showing one.
There is something that all of these creators have in common: multi-narrative storytelling. So they're telling many stories, many narratives in a very short amount of time. Well, what is he making?
So you're waiting, there's a transformation from beginning to end where it's like, wait, I want to watch him make this.
And archery isn't showing or telling me a story. So I'm so sorry. I trust it's still an incredibly difficult sport, but it's going in F. Moving on to a very visual sport though, we've got 3-on-3 basketball. And you know what? I'm gonna come clean with you. I have a very troubled history with basketball because I have always wanted to be into it. Ever since I saw Troy Bolton get his head in the game, I've wanted that. I want to have a favorite team to root for, maybe even play in a rec league.
Coach said to fake right and break left.
And yet the sport has always eluded me, because I suck at playing basketball, all my friends hate sports, and I cannot physically stop myself from zoning out every single time a game comes on the TV. Also, I suck at basketball. I suck at basketball, guys. But in my heart of hearts, I know I'd love it. And 3-on-3 basketball is for some reason way cooler than regular basketball. So for absolutely no reason other than my lust for basketball, I'm putting it in A tier. This is 100% worth a watch. Swimming.
This is the most important 25 meters.
Guys, I'm so sorry, okay? We all know where this is going. If you're a swimmer out there, that's great for you. I am so happy for you. I don't want to see it. For me, dog, if I need to go somewhere, I'm taking a boat. I'm not even taking a boat. I'm taking a plane. I am bypassing the water entirely. And don't get me wrong, if you love to swim, go off. But I do not need to watch it. Like, I like editing videos, but do you have any clue how bloody boring it would be to watch me edit a video for 10 minutes? The best thing I can say about swimming is that I saw this French guy, Leon, compete, and he broke, like, a bunch of records. So I'm really proud of him. Pop off, Leon. But yeah, swimming's an F. I'm so sorry. Okay, wrestling time. The way I think of wrestling is that it's kind of like human tug-of-war, where you are both the tuggy and tugger, if you will. And it looks both very silly and very daunting, because you simply cannot tell me this does not look at least a little ridiculous, but you also can't tell me you'd win. Like, in its simplest form, wrestling is just a grown adult yanking on another grown adult. I am a very easy yanker to be yanked. I'm gonna put this one in B. I definitely forget it exists most of the time, and I'm not trying to watch it, but it's very intriguing. Like, I wouldn't mind watching wrestling for an hour. Moving on, we've got badminton, which, despite seeming like a glorified tennis knockoff, is actually pretty sick. At first, I couldn't pinpoint what made it so fun to watch, but then I realized it's my little tinktonk brain, because the sport moves so fast. Like, look at this. In the span of 15 seconds, the ball is hit 18 times, and there are 2 close calls. That's insane. And it isn't just that one specific match. This is how every single round goes. It's almost too fast-paced, honestly. Like, I could definitely see myself accidentally tuning this out because there's just so much going on to keep track of. Especially when we get into 2-on-2 matches. Like, it's crazy, guys. But at the end of the day, I will be watching this next Olympics, and I do not know how they recover from dives that fast. S tier. But now, it's bike go vroom vroom fast time. And I'm gonna go ahead and group cycling mountain bike, cycling track, cycling road, and BMX racing together, because they're all more or less the same to me. I don't care. It's like archery where I know there's a lot of work going on internally, but I can't see any of it. Like, I can barely ride a bike uphill, okay? I know it's hard, but I can't see how hard it is for them. There's no story being told here, so it's just not fun to watch. The most story I've seen told in bike racing is when it was raining last week, and these women just kept falling over because the road was so slick, and I feel so bad for them, because they are literally the best bike riders in the world, but this rain it's not helping them show that, guys. Like, it's making them look very bad, when it's really just incredible that they were able to pick themselves up and keep going at all. Because even one of their coaches just slammed into the ground, just trying to walk over to one of them. But that's the only actually interesting thing I've ever seen happen in bike racing. F tier. It's still bike time though, because we've got BMX freestyle, and this is such an impressive sport. It's like the snowboarding of the Summer Olympics, and you might be thinking to yourself, no, Chloe, that's skateboarding, ho. Oh, you silly little billies. No, it's BMX freestyle. I think part of what makes BMX stick out to me so much is that, unlike skateboarding, the apparatus is big enough that you can actually, like, tell what tricks are being done, and gauge, at least to an extent, the utter skill needed that you and I will never have, by the way, to do these tricks. Especially when you go back and watch the routine at 0.5 speed, these guys are freaking incredible. I also love the way they dismount, because they just casually flick the bike out from under them as if they didn't just do a double backflip. This one's an S tier, guys. But boys, it's sport climbing time. And you may be wondering, like I was, why they call it sport climbing instead of just rock climbing, so I googled it, and it seems like the core difference is that in sport climbing, they have these pre-existing things in the wall they latch their harnesses onto, whereas in rock climbing, they don't have pre-existing ones built, so they straight up have to make latches as they climb. And look, I may be a touch biased towards sports climbing, because I actually did it for like a year and a half in high school, but I am in love with this sport. I'm always in love with something every video, okay? And right now, it's a wall. Because as someone who's done it before, obviously not to this extent, I could never do this, I would literally die, but I can, like, imagine the difficulty of climbing up a certain path. Like, I know how hard it is to grab onto these kinds of holds, and then they're able to put their full body weight on just that hold. But even if you don't have experience with the sport, I think it's both one of the most visually interesting to watch and the one that's easiest to imagine yourself doing. Like, imagine trying to do a pull-up on just the 1-inch frame of a door. You don't even have to imagine it. You can try doing it yourself. It's bloody hard. Or is it? I thought, hey, why assume? So I'm gonna try and hang off this ledge and see how long I can do it before I fall off. I'm choosing this ledge because I think if I actually used a door frame, I would break my door. So this one seems like a better idea. So we're gonna see. This is gonna be really bad audio for the rest of this clip, okay? The edge up here is so freaking sticky. I don't know why. This isn't gonna go well, guys. I'm so scared to let go right now. I'm not even gonna last a second. Ugh. Yeah, rock climbing is hard. I think sports climbing is the perfect Olympic sport, S tier. If there was higher than S, it would be in that one. Okay, now I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Imagine with me. Imagine if soccer and basketball had a baby, and that baby grew up and married football, because that's what handball is. Everything about it is like soccer, except actually not at all, because you play with your hands and you're literally not allowed to touch the ball with your feet unless you're the goalie. So it is at the same time the exact same thing as soccer and the polar opposite. Plus it's a contact sport, so you'll just see them throwing each other around, or this girl accidentally doing a backflip. This is a pretty wild sport. It kind of combines all of America's pastimes in the most chaotic way possible. I'm gonna put it in A tier, because I'm not a soccer or football girly pop, but if you are, I think you'll have a smashing time. But let's talk water polo, because I have heard about this sport for years, and I have never once known what it actually is. Honestly, I wasn't even fully convinced it involved water, and you cannot blame me for that, because soccer is called soccer, and what the hell is a soccer, okay? Maybe water was what they called the balls they used. Not those kind of balls. Get your mind out of the gutter, you little pervert. I'm sorry, that might have been too far. You know, I was about to say you're not a pervert. I don't know, honestly. If there's a pervert watching my videos, please stop. I don't want you here. But apparently water polo is just like water handball. And honestly, I don't get it. As a hater of the ocean itself, why we gotta get water involved? Like, just play handball. I don't really understand the appeal of this one. If you're a water polo lover, I'm happy for you, but this one's going in F, especially since we already have regular handball. I don't get it. Next up, we've got trampoline, and this one absolutely perplexes me. It feels like been there, done that, you know, like BMX without a bike or gymnastics floor routine, bouncy edition. And I know it must require a very different skill sets than those sports, but I just feel like we've MCU'd ourselves with this one. Cause hear me out here, Marvel movies used to be really good until the stakes got too high, and now every single movie is another world-ending event. And stakes that high are inconceivable to us, so we can't really attach ourselves to them, you know? It just becomes a bunch of meaningless mush. We don't really care about the people anymore. And in sports like gymnastics, diving, and trampoline, I think we've done the same thing. It's just their version of world-ending stakes are flips and body twists. And like MCU movies, we both don't really understand those stakes unless you're a gymnast yourself, and we've become so desensitized to them from seeing it just so much. Tell me that means something to you, okay? Tell me you're like enthralled by this. And maybe you are, that's great for you if you're still like hyped over every little twist. But I feel like it's just the same thing I've seen 1,000 times, but somehow they rank it differently. I'm gonna put trampoline in D because it's cool in theory, but in practice, I'm just so over it. Like, I know it takes an incredible amount of skills. I would die as I would doing most of these sports, but it's just too much flips. Also, as long as we're here, diving's an F. I don't want it. Moving on though, we've got fencing. And I'm gonna be real here, I have never in my life understood a single second of fencing. Because it's like the whole goal is to hit your opponent, but then sometimes you hit them and nothing happens. Like, do I hit you or not? So in order to rank fencing, I watched a video called Fencing Explained, and now that I kind of get it, fencing is sick, guys. Basically, there are 3 different types of fencing: foil, épée, and saber. Épée is the easiest to understand because the rules pretty much are just don't get hit. I think it's the other ones that make it so hard to understand. Like in foil, you only get points if you hit someone in the front or back torso, and you can also only jab them straight on. You can't slash them. And then in saber, any hit from the waist up counts, whether jab or slash, but if the other player attacks first, you're considered in defensive mode, and the only way you can get a point is by parrying to deflect their sword and immediately striking them back. So now that I actually understand it, I think that it's a pretty cool sport, but I also think it is a serious problem that I had to Google how it works in order to actually understand it. Like, if you're watching gymnastics for the first time, it's pretty easy to get the gist. Do flips, don't fall over. But I have watched fencing and past Olympics, and I've never gotten it before. So as cool as I think it is, I'm gonna have to put fencing in D tier. If you can't understand it, you can't enjoy it. Alright, next up we've got artistic swimming. And guys, what the hell? I never heard of this sport before, okay? And it is one of the coolest sports possible that I could, like, I love it. It's sick. This is amazing. According to the Olympics website, artistic swimming developed by combining water acrobatics with music. It is literally underwater dancing. And it might sound a little dumb, because, like, who spent their childhood dreaming of dancing underwater? But literally, you guys need to go watch this. Like, I can barely even swim, and these guys are throwing each other 7 feet into the air. They are doing the moonwalk underwater upside down. They're doing whatever this is. Gang, this is bloody incredible. Imagine the stamina it must take to not only swim, but do an entire choreographed number underwater. This is probably just my inner theater kid showing.
Come fix this fixer-upper up with a little bit of love.
But this is an S tier, okay? I will die on this hill. Sticking with water sports, though, we've got the canoe slalom, and this is also insane. Seriously, I almost skipped ranking this one because I was like, it's a canoe, who gives a crap? But I looked up a video just to give it a fair chance, and gang, literally, gang. Let me take you guys through my journey. I click on the video. I'm thinking, okay, they got a barricade to stop them from going too early, like a kid's Pinewood Derby. It's cute, I guess. And bang, it starts, and they just shoot them off a cliff. And then they just start ramming into each other. It's like the contact sport of boats. And I'm thinking, okay, this is all it's gonna be though, right? Like just a wild start to a boring race. But then they flip upside down. They do a full 360 in a boat. And then it turns into a Lego Star Wars minigame because they have these 2 poles they have to go through, and if they don't make it through them, they'll like turn around to try and get it. Yet somehow being Lego Star Wars adjacent is still the least shocking thing about the sport. This is absolutely insane. This sport is wild. As doubtful as I was coming into it, I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. I don't know what to do with the information of its existence, and I can tell you right now, my solution is not gonna be watch more of it, but it's a trip and a half. And still on water sports, we've got sailing. And just one last time, I'm gonna ask you to humor me by letting me tell you my thought process behind sailing, if you will. I see that sailing is an Olympic sport. I think to myself, this is hilarious. Are they just like ferociously hoisting the mainsail? I'd go to YouTube to look up sailing. I see a video, watch this guy from Israel win the gold medal in windsurfing sailing. I go clickety clackety. Since when is this sailing? This looks like black magic. They are like levitating over the ocean. And I'm sure I'd suck at it because I can barely stand up on a surfboard, but I want to try. However, I gotta say, it's going in deep. I'm sorry, it's going in deep. It is a fantastic spectacle, but at the end of the day, you get 5 minutes in, it's just another race with no visual intrigue whatsoever. Okay, but we're reaching the end now. I only have 3 more sports I want to talk about, so stick with me here. Our third to last sport is the modern pentathlon, and I really thought at first that someone just did not know how to spell triathlon, but apparently this is a whole different thing, where you have to do horse jumping, followed by fencing, followed by swimming, followed by running, followed by shooting. And I just need to say that I am so blown away by these athletes. Like, they are mastering 5 different Olympic fields at the same time. I cannot imagine the energy, the resilience, the commitment it must take. Like, I'm mixed shocked, okay? This is incredible of them. I think this is one of the most impressive sports you can do, along with gymnastics all around. I don't even have a ranking for this one. I think it'd be unfair to boil down 5 sports into just one ranking, but I just wanted to mention it because these athletes are incredible. I'm so impressed. To wrap up, I want to talk about breakdancing and karate. Starting with the latter, karate was added to the Olympics in 2020, and then it was immediately removed. And I'm pretty pissed about it. And it's not because I'm a whore for karate or anything. I could not care less about karate, but I'm sure someone really cares about it. Yet the reason karate isn't in the Olympics anymore is because it lacked entertainment value and the ability to attract a younger audience. And I'm sorry, as opposed to the 4 different versions of cycling races, as opposed to making horses jump. Like, I get that not every sport can be in the Olympics. We already have so bloody many. But don't tell me you can't include karate because it doesn't have the same entertainment value as canoe sprinting does. So I'm not a karate hoe, but if you are, I stand with you. I think it's really weird to take it out and then have 4 different types of cycling races, okay? I'm not gonna let that go. And as far as breakdancing goes, I'm gonna make this really short, really quick. Please stop harassing this Australian woman. She is trying her best. Please stop, guys. She probably feels so bad right now. Okay, we need to let it rest. All right, gang. So that's the video. Also, this is today's drawing. It's a question mark because if you think you can do any of these, who the hell do you think you are? Unless you're one of the Olympians watching this, in which case, please comment down below. No way, dude. You're here. What's up? So yeah, please comment down below. Let me know if you think my rankings sucked, if you think any of them are overrated or underrated. I didn't talk about gymnastics at all in this video just because they're so prominent already, and there's so much. I could do a whole different video on just gymnastics. But yeah, let me know what you think of the different sports. Let me know what you think of Stephen Pommelhorse guy, and if it's anything negative, I'll block you forever. I'll block you forever. You are dead to me if you don't like Stephen Pommelhorse guy, okay? He's the love of my life. So yeah, please subscribe. Hope you like the video. See you guys next time.